This is the High Street, Doncaster. Prior to 1730, this was part of Hallgate that ran from French Gate to the Stone Bridge and Gate, that crossed the Bardyke, where Hallgate starts today. The Hsbc Bank stands on the corner of High Street and Baxter Gate and was built in 1897. This was the first time that white Portland stone had been used in the town. It was built by William Annelay, whose building business was then based in Docking Hill Road and Silver Street. They had previously built Rossington Hall and the Free Library on St. George Gate. After the Hsbc, the next listed building is on the right, the Lloyd's Bank, built in 1912 at 55 High Street. It was the first commercial building in Doncaster to have a lift. On the left is Barclays Bank, dated 1882, built by F. Masters. He also built the Friary Place Post Office and a number of other buildings on the trail. Again on the right is 52 High Street, a building built in 1794. Better known as Carter Longbottom, a hardware shop. A business dating back to at least 1848. After Barclays Bank on the left side are two buildings that are said to date back to the 16th century. A plaque has been installed on the building to commemorate this. In May 1817, Samuel Parkinson took these premises, trading as a grocer and tea dealer. The building at 5051 High Street dates back to at least 1775, when it was the home of a draper. He also made confectionery, and eventually he was to become famous for one of its specialities, butterscotch. This Georgian shop was vacated by Parkinson's in 1960. It was only saved from demolition by the efforts of Doncaster Civic Trust. After a 16-year battle with the post office, it was restored and brought back into use in 1976. In 1886, the London and Yorkshire Bank moved into Doncaster and adapted a building called the Friary, on the corner of High Street and Friary Place. In 1923, the new National Provincial Bank replaced it. It later became the TSB Bank in the 1970s. Opposite the TSB is the Doncaster Tourist Information Centre, which is inside this 1805 building. Opposite the Mansion House is the NatWest Bank, originally the Westminster Bank. The building work took 4 years to complete and the new bank was opened on the 30th of April 1928. Doncaster Mansion House is a Grade 1 listed building, the highest designation for listed buildings in the UK. It was designed in 1744 in the Palladian style, by James Payne at an estimated cost of £4,523 for shillings and sixpence. However, taking into account internal furnishing, the costs rise closer to £8,000. It is one of only 3 mansion houses in England that survives today. The only one built for entertainment purposes and not for civic duties, as were London and York. On High Street, to the left of the Mansion House, are a number of significant buildings, the former Woolwich Building Society, now a megabet betting shop. The subscription rooms, of which only the portico with its Ionic columns survives today. And the red brick building next to the Mansion House, number 44, is dated from the mid-18th century and is now the Subway restaurant. On the corner of High Street and Scott Lane, you can see the Savings Bank, built in 1843. The premises were acquired by Yorkshire Penny Bank in 1895. Directly opposite the bank is 17 High Street, one of Doncaster's many surviving rounded corner buildings, built in 1811. From here, head down the High Street towards Hallgate. On the way, there are several listed buildings, including 18, 19 and 20 High Street, all built in the early 19th century. Number 21, opened in 1841 as the Victoria Rooms, a rival to the subscription rooms across the road. Later it was known as the Lyceum, a ballroom and restaurant. Number 22 High Street is dated 1841. Number 23 is dated from the early 18th, later 19th century. More listed buildings can be seen on the left. Numbers 24 and 24b, and 25 are all dated from the late 18th and early 19th centuries. On the right-hand side, number 41 High Street was built in the late 18th century, and the magnificent blue building dated 1780 with alterations in 1925. The Daynam Hotel was built in 1910, but it is not a listed building. It replaced the Ram Hotel, an important coaching inn, said to date back to 1793. In 1215, King John ordered a defensive ditch and moat, later known as the Bardyke, to be built to protect the town. The gates and bridges were built to cross the Bardyke at the northern, western, eastern and southern end of the Bardyke to allow access into the town. This junction marked the southernmost entrance across the Bardyke, which ran along what is now Silver and Cleveland Street. After 1730, the Bardyke was infilled, and the bridge and gate here and the other three would gradually disappear. This allowed Doncaster to benefit from the increasing coach traffic that would bring prosperity to the town.